Alrighty, well, welcome to our next problem, Larry the Llama. This is a work with me problem. So, I'm going to do one step of the problem, then you will pause this video and copy down that portion, and then we'll go through the whole problem like that, step by step, where I do one step and then you copy that onto your paper and we'll solve the whole problem. The next one will be on your own, so you'll do the whole problem on your own, and then you'll play the video and I will correct it and you'll correct your work as we go along. Anyway, let's work on this one. Larry the Llama. Larry the Llama may look like a relaxed fellow, but he is actually a top-ranked runner in the llama community. He races around his yard faster than any other llama in his herd. Today is the annual llama race, and the course is 5/6 of a mile long. Larry races as fast as he can for 3/4 of a mile. How much further does Larry have to run in order to stay ahead of the herd and win the race? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to want you to do is to write down 5/6 minus 3/4 or 3/4. Okay? Now, the 5/6 is how long the whole race is, and the 3/4 is how far he has run so fast already. Okay? So let's go ahead and just have you write that down. So pause the video, and then when you're ready, hit play. All right, we're back. So now what I want you to do is go ahead and make your fraction box just like this. And we're going to do a couple steps here. So I want to break this into 6 parts, right? Which means I'm going to draw 5 lines, which will give me 6 parts. So let's go ahead and do that right now. And I'm going to do it here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 lines gives us 6 parts. Let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So what I want you to do right now is go ahead and pause it and draw your fraction box with the lines and 6 parts for the 6 right here. And then hit play and we'll do our next step. I'll wait for you. Superb. Well, let's move on now. Now, you are going to color in 5 out of the 6 because that is how far the whole race is. It's 5/6 of a mile. So with fractions, it means, once again, let's go over this real quickly. 5 means how many we get, and 6 is how many this is cut into. So this mile is cut into 6 parts, and we get 5 out of those 6. So fractions can be thought in of 3 ways. 5/6, 5 out of 6, and 5 divided by 6. Right now we're working with just 5 out of 6. So let's watch and do that right here. And here we go. I'm going to color in 5 out of the 6. So you see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 6. So pause the video and color in these 5 and then hit play and we'll move on. Okay, fantastic. Let's move on, my friend. All right, so now the next thing I need to do is I got to figure out how I got to break this up because I've got 6 and I've got 4ths, and in this case it's 6 parts, so I got to break this into a common multiple that both of these numbers go into. So I'm going to look for my LCM, and my LCM stands for least common multiple. So I'm going to take my 6 here and my 4. Now the reason I took those is because those are my 2 denominators. So I put my 6 on top because that's my first fraction, and then I take my 4 and put it right below because that's my second fraction. So, and I got to find a multiple that these two have in common. So multiples, it means I can just count by the numbers. So 6, and the next number would be 12, and then I have 18, right? So now I'm going to work with the 4. So I'm going to go 4, 8, 12, and bingo. You can see we've got the 12 is a multiple that these two numbers have in common. So for 6, oh, actually, let's stop here. I want you to write least common multiple and then copy 6, 12, 18, 4, 8, 12, and circle the two 12s. I'll wait for you. Do that. Fantastic. Okay, so now what I want you to do is, this is broken into 6 parts, so we're going to, and they're broken this way, right? Going horizontal. Now we want to break it going up and down into 1, 2 parts. 2 parts means I simply draw one line, I'm going to draw it right down the middle, and that gives me 2 parts, right? So I've got 1 part here and 2 right here. So now I no longer have 6, I have 12. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 parts. So now we're going to put this on pause for a moment and move to the algorithm. But before we do that, I want you to make sure you cut your line down here and you are caught up to me. So pause the video and catch up to me, and then we're moving on. Fantastic. All right, so let's move on. The next thing I need to do is go ahead and start my algorithm. So now for my algorithm, I'm going to rewrite this fraction here. I'm going to write 5, whoops, I need to write 5, 6 right there, and then I'm subtracting 3/4 right here. Now, I've got to get common denominators, right? So I'm going to use my LCM, and for the 6, for the 5, 6, I'm going to multiply it by the giant 1 of 1, 2, right? So 2 over 2. So I'm going to multiply, I'm going to draw my big giant 1 right here. And that is a beautiful 1, right? Maybe not so much. Anyway, I'm going to multiply by 1, 2, so 2 over 2. And the reason I multiply by 1 is that I want to get the same size fraction, right? But just different numbers, right? So I have a common denominator. So watch what happens. This is really, really cool here. So I'm going to go 5 times 2 is going to give me 10. And then if I take the 6 times 2, that will give me 12. And what's really cool here is you can see I've got, because I've already done this on my illustration, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 out of 11, 12. So this fraction is now converted from 6 to 12, right? And that's exactly what I want. So now the next thing I want to do is I want to multiply this fraction here by the giant 1 as well. And I'm going to make that beautiful 1 there. And this one I'm going to multiply by 1, 2, 3. So 3 over 3. 3 over 3. And that will give me a new fraction of 3 times 3, which will give me 9, right? And right here I've got 4 times 3, which will give me 12. So I am subtracting 9 twelfths. So, okay, now what I want you to do is copy this much of the algorithm, hit pause and copy it, and then when you're done, we will move on and finish this problem. Okay, so now we are moving on. So now I'm going to come back here to the algorithm, or I'm sorry, this is the illustration, this is the algorithm. Let's keep my mind straight here. So I'm going to come back to the illustration, and now I'm going to subtract 9 of these away. And so I'm going to do that just by taking this, and I'm going to take 2 at a time. I'm going to take these 2, that's 2, and then I'm going to take these 2, that's 4. Move it right over there. I'm going to take 2 more, that's 6. I'm going to take 2 more, that's 8, right? And then I've got to just take 1 more for 9. I'm going to take 1 more away. And that leaves me with 1. And these are 12ths, right? So I've got 1/12 left, right? So let me just, I want to do something fancy here. I'm going to write this over here. I'm going to write that my answer is 1/12 that I have left with my illustration. So what I'd like you to do right now is color these in with your highlighter or erase them or whatever you're going to use to leave just one of these out of the 12 left, right? And then write your 1/12 right here. I will wait for you, and then we'll finish this problem. Okay, and we're back. So now you're going to just draw your line here because we are going to work with the algorithm and finish it and make sure that it agrees with our illustration. So for the algorithm, remember, you never add or subtract the denominators, you just drop them. So I'm going to just drop my denominator. I'm going to write 12ths right there. And then you do subtract the numerators. So 10 minus 9 will give me 1, and bam, you can see that my algorithm agrees with my illustration right there, and that is always fantastic, my friend. So now, if we're going back to the problem, Larry the llama is racing, and he had 5/6 of the mile was the whole race, right? And he raced for as fast as he could for 3/4 of it. What does he have left? Well, he has 1/12 of the race left to keep sprinting away so that he can win the race and be the famous Larry the Llama that he already is. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Our next one is going to be on your own, so you'll solve that whole problem on your own, and then we'll go through the same process and you'll correct your own work. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.